The average human being uses 5% of their brain capacity. High achievers use 20% of their brain capacity.
Let's imagine for a few moments what our life would be like if we could access, let's say, 20% of our brain's capacity. 100 billion neurons per human, of which only 15% are activated. There are more connections in the human body than there are stars in the galaxy. We possess a gigantic network of information.
Your brain has billions and billions of neurons, hundreds of billions of interconnections. It can process more than 2 million bits of information in 1 second. It doesn't forget anything you've ever seen or anything you've ever heard, which is why it's important to make sure you don't put the wrong things in there, because they always will impact upon you, subconsciously and consciously.
Well, the first thing is that everybody, and this is everybody, has the potential for genius. The human brain is far more powerful than a computer.
What is your brain capable of if you actually put your mind to something?
See, it took 500 years for someone to notice something hidden in plain sight. It was a doctor who noticed the shape of the human brain. The message being that the divine gift does not come from a higher power, but from our own minds.
You would be amazed at what the average brain is capable of. Now, some people say, well, I'm not good at languages, I'm not good at math, I'm not good at science. You know what? That's a bunch of hogwash. That's not true. If you have an average brain, you're good at anything. It's just a matter of programming the brain correctly. Most people think it's pretty easy to read. Why? Because they know all 26 letters of the alphabet. What if you only knew 21 letters of the alphabet? What could you read? Not very much. Well, math and science are exactly the same way. If you're missing elements, it all becomes very confusing. But if you go back and you fill them in, it becomes very easy. And just about everything is easy if you're willing to put the work into it. Everybody can remember things that they want to remember, and things that they don't want to remember, they can't remember. Have you noticed that? And anybody can always find time for something that they want to do. But if they don't want to do it, they can find 5,000 reasons why they shouldn't do it. And that's the way it is when it comes to preparing yourself, particularly in an area like medicine, technological areas. You just have to be willing to do it. It's not going to come automatically. It doesn't come by osmosis. You have to actually work for it to make it work.
The average human being uses 5% of their brain capacity. High achievers use 20% of their brain capacity. Olympic gold medalists use 40% of their brain capacity. Because mastery is the highest form of intelligence. So imagine this. Imagine you winning the silver medal or the bronze medal. Those people who win those medals are using 20% of their brain capacity. That's a lot. They're accessing a lot. But the person standing on top of the podium, on top of the box, with the gold medal around their neck, is using 20% more than they're using of their brain capacity.
A new type of thinking is essential if mankind is to survive and move toward higher levels. Albert Einstein said that more than 50 years ago. And it couldn't be more relevant than it is today.
There's a theory that there's a little Rain Man in everyone. And if there's a way of unlocking that part of the brain, that we could all to some extent at least, have an experience of what it's like to be me or to be someone like Stephen Wiltshire.
The second step is a very simple one. It's you decide that you're going to make your brain your hobby. Now, as soon as you do that, your brain is like a young child. You know, so if you suddenly focus on a young child, what happens? It flourishes. Same with the brain. So the minute you make it your hobby, the minute you scan the web, the minute you go into libraries, the minute you attend courses, the minute you read books on it, your brain will reward you in ways which even you now wouldn't even believe would be so.
There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. For short, we call it the RAS. That part of your brain determines what you notice in the world. And it's really important because when you set a goal, when you get really clear on a vision, there's strong enough reasons, and you review it enough, and it becomes a part of you, that part of your brain says, anything that relates to this, I need to notice.
Our perception of reality has less to do with what's happening out there and more to do with what's happening in here.
If you're going to change an area, you do three things. Number one, you focus on it and you get clear and compelling vision for what you want. You see, if you focus on crashing into the pole, trying not to, the more you try not to, what you focus on, that's where the energy goes, that's where you go. If your only reason you're focusing on it is like, well, I need to lose some weight because I feel fat, versus I want the energy to burn because with that I'll have more passion, more aliveness, I'll be able to impact my children. Get focused and clear. What's compelling? Where are you? Really? And don't lie. Where do you want to be? And make it so compelling you can't help it. When you wake up in the morning, you want to transform this area of your life.
We now realize that daydreaming can break you or make you. The great geniuses did something different. They daydreamed big. They had a big vision. Thomas Edison, for example, his daydream wasn't to invent the light bulb. His daydream was to light the planet Earth at night. That was his daydream. So the difference between the kind of waste of time daydreaming and the genius daydreaming, the brilliant daydreaming, which everyone can do. They say, wouldn't it be great to light the planet at night? How are we going to do that? And then they start to work, they bring in other people, they make that dream come true.
You can't just focus on it. You got to create a clear and compelling future in that area that will pull you towards it, so you're not trying to push yourself.
Have the attitude that you can. Believe that your brain can. And then daydream whatever you want to come true, and then work to make it come true. That's brilliance. And anyone can do it.
Align your life with what you really value. Align your life with what is most important to you. And then once you are in a position where you're aligned, guess what you'll do? Take action. You won't even have to work at it. When everything's in alignment, there's nothing pulling you away, boom, you go for it.
Every day is another opportunity to change your life. So if you're worried, if you're thinking you may not make it, then you won't make it. But if you make up your mind you're going to make it, and it's like BK said, the only way is if you quit. Just make up your mind you won't quit.
Brilliance is a potential for everybody.